Okay, hello chaps. This is a quick video on public expenditure, and specifically public expenditure in the Theme 4 context. We're looking at the role of public expenditure in the global economy. What we're going to do today in this video is just look at the different types of public expenditure we need to be aware of as we go through this topic. So, to start off with, we've got to consider what transfer payments are. We've seen this a bit already, but transfer payments are welfare payments made available through the social security system. Examples of this could be job seekers allowance, child benefits, state pensions, housing benefits, income support, and the working families tax credit. Essentially, transfer payments are the benefits the government pay out to people. Nowadays, though, we're moving towards universal credit, which would be one benefit given to each person, but it brings into account all these old previous benefits that existed, and therefore providing just one lump sum payment to each individual claiming benefits. The role of these transfer payments is to provide a basic floor of income or a minimum standard of living for those households who are on a low income. They also allow the government to change the final distribution of income quite easily by taxing the rich and giving money directly to the poor. You're improving their standard of living and we're redistributing that income directly. We must also note then, transfer payments are payments where no good or service is received in return. Therefore, transfer payments do not count towards our GDP figures because there's no output made. Once the transfer payment is made to the poor people, the poor households, when they then spend that money, that is where these payments enter the economy, and that's when they're accounted for. They're accounted for as consumption in our aggregate demand, not necessarily government spending G. We then look at current government spending, and that's spending on state-provided goods and services that are provided on a recurrent basis, i.e. these are ongoing every year. These could be the salaries paid to people working for the NHS and resources for state education and defence. The NHS, for example, is the current country's biggest employer with over 1 million people working within the system. That whole industry, that whole business, as it were, is funded by the government spending, current government spending, where the money for that comes from our taxes and other forms of government revenue. The role of these, of current government spending, is to provide public and merit goods to society, and they also constitute a stable component of our aggregate demand. Pretty stable at all times, the government spending on healthcare, education and defence, for example. The third and final type of public expenditure is capital spending, and this is spending by the government on new public infrastructure. This could be on examples such as new roads, new motorways, new hospitals, new schools and new prisons. This is not to say it's the payments for the upkeep of these infrastructures, but rather it is the building of new ones, because we get that short-term spike in G, and in the long run, clearly we don't get that every year. That increase in G that we get from building one school, we don't see that increase in G every year, rather it's a one-off. The role of this government investment is that the spending adds to the economy's capital stock, and it can also have important demand and supply effects in the long run. Cool. So that just confirms, chaps, a short video where we're just going to look at the types of public expenditure, and your next task will be set straight after this.